show us the edge. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Try to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the apple. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, you want it all. This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show them the proof, show them that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate y'all being in with us on this episode of the Pelican Postgame Report. Fam, the Pels, man, they fall short to the OKC Thunder, 94-92. Man, we had this game, had several opportunities to take the game, despite leading the game in the fourth quarter, beating them 24-20, finishing the quarter. But several attempts the Pelicans made, man. We had this game, and we just could not. I mean, OKC was basically saying, here, Pelicans, they were missing shots, turning the ball over, but we couldn't capitalize, man, when we really needed the most. And that's been a problem with the Pelicans all damn season long. And we go down with the loss 94-92. We talked about ad nauseum about the Pelicans having great difficulty in finishing close games. That reared its ugly head again. A lot to talk about on this episode of the Pelican Postgame Report. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. If you're on Twitter, give us a retweet. We'll have Coach Willie's commentary on the postgame presser momentarily. We're going to bring in Lexxah. Lexxah's in this thing as well. We'll go over a few team stats right here, fam, before, we let the runway open the runway for Lex. And I'm pretty sure DC will chime in too, man. Pelicans, first playoff game in a while here, 94-92. And let's go into the team stats right quick. Pels, man, shot 38.5% from the field tonight, 37 of 96 from the field. Like I said, for 38.5%. The Thunder, 37.80 out of 85 there for them, 43.5% there for their squad. I just don't know, man, what we can say about what we've seen from this club, man. But anyway, OKC 43.5, 37 out of 85 there. The Pelicans 11 of 39 from downtown for 28.2%. The OKC team 10 for 32 for 31.3%. Free throw attempts was scarce, 7 out of 9 by Pelicans for almost 78%. OKC only 13 attempts, 10 of 13 for just under 77%. Pelicans did have a feisty 52 rebounds. 18 of them were offensive rebounds. That was phenomenal. Pelicans 22-21 on the assist game, 7-5 on the steals, 6-7 OKC way. The turnovers, 14 turnovers by the Pelicans tonight versus 13. The fast break points was just utterly ridiculous. OKC beat the Pelicans 20-7 on fast break points right there, and in the points in the paint game, 42-36. A very mysterious style officiated game with the Sasquatch Tony brothers did his thing tonight with the Pelicans. Very weirdly, done. Always very curious games when he's there. And then, of course, we look at the individual numbers. Trey Murphy was the man tonight for the Pelicans. Hit a bevy of different difficult 3-point shots. He was 5 of 12 from downtown, 8 of 18 from the field. He finished with 21 points on the game there from Trey. He also had 3 blocks and challenging a lot of Shea's jump shots. I mean, Trey really showed some stuff tonight defensively. He also had 4 rebounds, 20 from CJ McCollum. Finally was able to put up some decent points over the last several games. He's been just not there, but he gave him 20 points tonight in 39 minutes of action. Well, 2 of 9 from downtown, 9 of 22 from the field, 6 assists, 3 rebounds for CJ, 13 from Val tonight in 29 minutes of action. He had 20 rebounds, but struggled in terms of kind of getting the ball in the hoop when he had opportunities. A lot of taps. Just take it. Giannis, you're 7 feet tall. Just get the damn thing and just dunk the goddamn thing, man, with all that tapping and stuff, man. 13 points by him. Herb finished with 8 points in 33 minutes of action with 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and his defensive duties trying to stop Shea, slow him down. And BI, man, we needed much more than 12 stinking points from Brandon Ingram, 5 of 17 from the field, 0 of 2 from downtown, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 12 stinking ass points tonight from him in 37 minutes. We can't have that, man. If you do what you're supposed to do, we got the victory tonight. And then off the bench, the second line, Larry Nance, 8 points, 8 rebounds from Larry. Najee was doing his thing, 5 points, 4 boards from him, 5 for Jose tonight for the Pelicans. So anyway, the close matchup, the Pelicans had several opportunities in this game to come up with the victory, and we failed. We failed to get the victory. We had this game, and this is the same thing I say in most of these close games. Pelicans have showed that they have difficulties winning. But anyway, let's go to Willie Green, and then we'll come back to Lexxah momentarily.
Those last closing seconds, minutes to do again.
Nope. I like the quality. We had quality shots coming down the stretch that we just didn't make, and came down to the final play. And our guys fought all night. Defense was solid. Game plan was executed at a high level. We got to knock down some shots.
What did make scoring so hard, especially in that first half? Nobody in double digits at halftime.
They have a good defense. They turn teams over. They're pretty handsy in terms of their ability to put their hands on you and they're physical. So it's playoff basketball.
What can you take from this and apply for Wednesday to produce a different result?
A lot of positives throughout the course of the game. Like I said, our game plan discipline was at a high level. Our defense was extremely solid. And offensively, we got quality looks, but we didn't knock them down. A couple of key plays down the stretch, a couple turnovers that we wanted back. But other than that, that's what you want. It's a game that comes down to the final few possessions.
Got 4 offensive rebounds kind of on that one sequence there, in a really close game is just not being able to convert on any of those, kind of a difference in a close game like that.
We needed to be more poised when we got those rebounds. That's part of the plan is go get them. But we took some shots and we had 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Like, get the ball out, be solid. They close out to us, drive it, make a play. But I thought we got a little sped up once we got those opportunities to shoot the ball.
What were they doing on Brandon to make it difficult for him in this night?
They have their hands on him and they're being physical, and he's got to continue to play through it.
The physicality door, it's going to bring, that's not going to change throughout the whole series. What do you got to do to kind of free BI up and make it a little easier on him?
It's not about what we need to do to free BI up. This is going to be playoff basketball. He's got to continue to play through it, have some gamesmanship out there, got to go to the free throw line a bit more. This is just what it's going to be. We're physical with them. They're physical with us. And that's a part of the game. That's a part of playoff basketball. Continue to play with force, play with speed, and get quality looks, take care of the ball.
You guys did a pretty decent job against Shea in that first half. What do you think he was able to do in the second half just to kind of get himself going a little bit?
He's going to touch the ball a ton, and we want to continue to make it tough on him, throw different looks at him. He can make shots. He's a good ISO player. He does a great job of getting to the free throw line. If you put your hands on him, he's ripping through, and the refs are calling it. We have to do the same thing. We shot 9 free throws. They shot 13, so we want to get that number a bit higher.
Yeah, but just in general, what do you guys have to do just to be a little bit more efficient offensively, just to get better looks on that end?
We just missed them, and sometimes that's how it goes. First playoff game, they're good defense. We got quality looks, but we'll settle into the series, continue to look at the film, go back, and see how we can generate even more quality shots for ourselves.
Coach, when Jonas got it going in that second half on the board, and even throughout the whole game, I mean, for you, from your perspective, I mean, when he's that dominant on the glass and being able to get you guys in rhythm in that sense, I mean, how big of a boost has it been? Was it for you guys, throughout the stretch to keep you guys in that game?
It was huge. JV was fantastic with his ability to dominate the glass. We could throw the ball into him. He settles our offense down a bit, and he's a mismatch for Oklahoma offensively for us. Trey was good. He's been good all season. He's been good, obviously, honestly, the past couple seasons, being able to step in to that role. And, he's dangerous when he steps on the floor.
He played a really big role defensively in this one as well.
Yes, his defense was at a high level, especially his ability, his length and his size, his ability to contest shots. I thought he bothered some of those guys with his contest ability. And, he's going to be key in this series for us.
Anytime you lose in the playoffs, it's tough. But this kind of feel like one that you guys kind of allowed to slip away. That you have to being so close there at the end and making that run after you fell behind by 10, not being able to pull this one out.
Yeah, obviously that's there. We had the game. I wouldn't necessarily say won, but we definitely had control over it coming down the stretch, and we let it slip away. Like I said, a couple key turnovers. We had a shot at the rim. We had a kick out three that we missed. So, shots that we can make.
Coach, how deflating is? I mean, at times, especially when you guys are blitzing the screens, it seems like they're having counters to everything. I mean, obviously you've seen it throughout the season, but now in the playoffs, and how deafening it can be, to you guys specifically. Just in general, when you guys are countering, some of their blitzes and whatnot. I mean, how is it for you guys? How do you guys have to respond to that?
It's not a deflating mentality for us at all. It's a next play mentality. We understand that this is a long, it's a playoff series. It's a long series. First game, there's going to be times where they're doing things and you have to counter. You have to make adjustments. That's a part of playoff basketball. But our mentality is continue to execute our game plan at a high level. We'll go back, watch the tape tonight, and see some things that they did and see what we can improve.
What was kind of the explanation on the play where they caught the jump ball and then Mark challenges it, and they ended up giving y'all the ball? What did Tony kind of say about that?
Well, he was successful in the challenge because it wasn't a jump ball, but it was our ball instead of theirs. And I'm not sure what happened with the timeout. I'll let him and Mark talk that out. Absolutely. Yeah. All right.
All right, that's Willie. All right, Willie Green. Two things before we get going here. A lot of stuff he said there. I'm gonna let Lex handle that. I don't need to. What's really interesting about this situation with the Pelicans is we have to get one of these two road games. We got to get one or two to make this a series coming back here. This is a matchup tonight. The Pelicans, you heard the reporter ask, or actually made the comment, and a very, good courage-filled comment to say that you guys let the game slip away. And Willie alluded, he says, yes, we did let the game slip away. The Pelicans can't do this in the playoffs. We've seen this throughout the regular season, and we're starting to see some of these regular season snafus occur in the playoffs. We got to close out games, man. The Thunder was trying to hand the Pelicans this game on the back end. They were missing shots, turning the ball over. Pelicans played really good defense down the stretch. Couldn't convert when we needed to keep the game away from their hands. And then we, at the end, turn it and leave it over to them. The next matchup is coming up on Wednesday. The Pelicans can't do this. They got to fix this, and they have to get one of these two games to make this a series. It's not a long series, Willie. It's not. 3 more games. If you don't win a couple of games or one more game, your ass is out of here, man. What you talking about? It's not a long series. We have to be able to capitalize. This is the playoffs now. Everything has to go up. The physicality has to ratchet up. The IQ has to go up. Everything has to go up. Our players that's making $30+ million a season, they have to play as stars. They have to step up their level of play as well. This is the playoffs. We're here. So, Lex, I'm gonna turn it over to you with that. But they played once again. Good for you. The Pelicans played and stayed in this game, even won the fourth quarter. But that means nothing if you can't complete the game. Playing good for 3 quarters is not a full game. We have to be able to close it. We got to get the next one to make it a series to keep it going. But go ahead, Lex, floor is yours.
What's going on with you, Big Q?
I'm okay, man. I thought we had this one tonight. It's like, I thought we had it. They didn't want it. But, they
You know
ultimately.
what? I was calm, cool, and collected looking at this game. Defensively, yeah, this was a defensive game. It was a defensive game, a strong defensive game. It almost reminded you of the 90s basketball, old school, when, where defense was basically the central hub.
Yeah. Up until the last 2 minutes, Lex. Up until the last 2 minutes, and they changed everything to, hey, you can't do that now, even though they were doing it the entire game. But carry on.
So, remember, obviously, when we did the live stream, we invited everybody in and things. JV is very important in this series. We saw that the dude had. I kind of felt like we needed to go to him more. We went away from JV a lot, but I don't know if you all saw, but when they needed a bucket, they got it to JV and JV got it up in there. JV was killing like the whole OKC team on the boards. The man had 20 rebounds. I say this all the time. Rebounds is possessions. Possessions lead to opportunities. The Pels got 16 points off of a second chance opportunities in the first half. That's really good. So that was an edge. That's an edge for the Pelicans moving forward. Nance, for most of the game, he did well, but he did make a huge, huge mistake. Like not knowing where Trey Murphy was. He should have got the ball to CJ, who was right there. That can't happen. And again, when you look at Larry Nance, I mean, it's like, dude, you're a veteran. You're a veteran. And I say the same thing about CJ. CJ, you're a veteran. Like from our veterans, and these are, when I say veterans, I'm talking about the oldest players on the team. You can't make mistakes like that. Those are mistakes that I would expect someone like Jayhawk to make. Maybe Trey. You know what I'm saying? But for those guys, you guys can't do that. You all have had the most, between CJ and Larry Nance, you've had the most playoff experience out of everyone on the Pelican squad. You've had the most playoff experience. You cannot make those types of mistakes. I really felt like there was a lot of different things that happened, but I want to move towards the end of the game. I thought it was really funny because remember seeing that play, BQ, where the Pels were jacking up threes.
Yeah.
And they got 3 offensive rebounds.
Rebounds, that's right. Yep.
I was like, this is classic Pelicans panic mode.
Yep.
I say that, I've said that many a times down the stretch. They panic. I'm like, what are you all doing? And there's no, CJ's not calming anyone down. This is CJ and BI, okay? This isn't the first time this has happened. Now, the Pelicans referred to CJ and BI as the leaders of this team, right? Why are the leaders of the team panicking? You're panicking along with Trey, along with Herb, along with Nance. That should not happen. That should not happen.
Yeah,
Like,
he did right after that. They would have kept jacking up those shots had he not called that timeout.
yes. Well, the thing is that no timeout was called, Big Q. The refs stopped the clock because the shot clock did not reset. That was the time. That
Yes.
was a key moment that Willie Green should have called that timeout, because by now you should know your team. You should understand that this team down the stretch, when the game is close, this team has panic mode symptoms. They do not do well coming down the stretch in a close game. The analytics prove that. I don't know the exact number, but this team only wins one way. They only win one way. The Pelicans only win one way. They have not consistently performed well down the stretch in a close game. Willie should know that. This is where knowing your team is very important. You need to call the timeout, Willie, and calm your team down. That is a part of coaching, to settle the nerves of your team, to take the clipboard, to draw up a play, a good play, a play that OKC has never seen. Because in the playoffs, you want to have plays that teams have never seen, right? Hall of Famers talk about that all the time. You always want to have something up your sleeve, something that they haven't seen. But I've said many a times, a specific person lacks creativity, lacks imagination. Yeah, that timeout would have helped settle the team down. OKC was clearly showing their youth. And it was funny because both teams were in unknown territory. They were in unknown territory. OKC was showing their youth, and the Pelicans were showing their lack of discipline in the clutch. The symptoms were very much alive, but Willie did not help in that regard. It's funny because 13 seconds into, I believe, the second quarter, Willie immediately called a timeout because he did not like what he saw. That was a good timeout. That's great. But where was that in that moment? In that key moment? Because chance. I'm not going to focus on the calls. That was to be expected. And plus, the fact that we had the lead within 2 minutes, even with all the calls, the Pels still could have won this game. Trigger had it going. Trey had it going. I would have loved to see. Instead of Willie giving the ball to McCollum, I would have set up a play for Trey to take that shot. If we're going for the win, set up or either Trey or Herb. Herb has been masterful on those corner threes. Trey was having a heck of a night. Actually, he bailed us out a lot, throughout the night. So it's like, instead of going to McCollum because I don't know if you all noticed, he definitely didn't go to BI. Clearly, we know that BI did not have it going. But, you know, it just would have been nice to maybe put Trey or Herb in an action where they could have knocked down that shot because, like I said, Herb has been he's been consistent all season shooting those corner threes. And Trey, he had it going. He had a nice flow going. And again, kind of going away from the hot hand. You know, CJ and BI did a lot of over dribbling. I think they were trying to do too much. I really do believe in this series that this is going to be a collective thing. We like Zion would like I can really see like man, Zion would have had a field day in this game. He really would have. I think the Pels have a better small ball. But the thing is that the rotations with JV, what's his name? Chet clocked in as soon as JV went out. And Willie brought Nance in. And I'm like, dude, the OKC coach saw that. And he immediately, as soon as he saw JV sit down, that's when he put Chet in. I'm like, I would go Imano for Imano. Like, go. JV and Chet should be battling. When they put light-skinned Jalen Williams in, that's more suitable for Larry Nance. That's a battle that he could have exploited. And I saw that right away when the OKC coach did that. And it's like, and I was looking at Willie, I was like, okay, did you notice what he did? Are you going to break routine and make that change?
Nope.
That was, I mean, you got to understand, and somebody said it in the chat, understanding mismatches, man. That's playoffs. You got to know when you're able to exploit particular mismatches. And yeah, again, that OKC, Mark is his name. I don't know his last name. I don't know how to pronounce it. But the OKC coach, his name is Mark. Yeah, man, I saw him do that, and he did that it was so natural. And I was like, no, I saw immediately what he was doing. And I think, Willie was like, oh, we got it. I'm like, no, in this time, at this point of the game, you have to start being more strategic. Okay. The first half is gone. You have to make the adjustment. He made an adjustment to your adjustment, and you did not adjust to what he adjusted, to what you adjusted to. You just, went along with, with his rotations. But yeah, I mean, the Pels should have got this game. They should have got this game, man. Again, when the game was close though, I mean, I was very calm about it because it's like, if they make it, that's great. But it's understanding this Pelicans team. We know the Pelicans. You know the Pelicans, Big Q.
Yeah.
You know the Pelicans, DC. We've been watching them. And down the stretch, man, they hit that panic mode button. It's like they went into the panic closet or something. I don't know, man. I mean, but this series it's going to be a good series, but if these games are going to be close, and I said this many a times, not in the playoffs, it's not always going to be blowouts. This team is going to have to lock down, focus, get more discipline, and close out games, because it's not just going to be a blowout. You may get one, maybe two, But these playoff games, like when it gets down, as we get deeper into it, it's going to be close. I wouldn't be surprised if every game that the Pels have with the Thunder is a close game, because the matchup of both teams is actually pretty solid.
Lex, great points. Let me interject. I want to further magnify your point about the clutch moniker. This is something that's circulating around the league about the Pelicans not being a clutch team. Well, the clutch stats verify that. In 29 clutch games, the Pelicans are 14-15. They average 101.5 versus 113.6. That's the adversary. And then if you look at where they're ranked 27th in the NBA in clutch stats. They're only better than the Spurs, the Wizards, and the Pistons. So it's something to these games being close where the Pelicans are not prepared to win these close games. Something goes awry. And the stats back it up all season long. We've seen them. That's why people were saying in the chat, the Pelicans fighting for the plan. Realistically speaking, in some of these games, a lot of these games, the Pelicans should have had 55 wins if they would have focused on closing games and practicing or preparing for games when things get tough. When it gets to the point where, we got to do this, we got to make sure we handle this, the clutch side of the game, that's obviously missing. And there's enough stats to back that up. Let me bring in DC to hear what he has to say too, because I know they still got some people that's going to chime in on the presser. We'll break them in when we get an opportunity. But DC, welcome in, bro. Tonight, the Pelicans, man, another close game. They lose the first playoff matchup to OKC. What are your thoughts, my brother?
Well, my thoughts are pretty much what I said in the last game, man. It was gonna come down to the wire. When we went into the third quarter, down 6, I said, man, we're gonna lose this game. It's that simple. If the Pels don't have a lead going into the fourth quarter, it's over. And until they can figure out a way to get over that hump and break that stigma, I know you put up the stats of clutch minutes. I guess they count clutch minutes as then they're counting the games where they had leads going into the fourth quarter when teams have gotten close. But Big Q, I forgot what it was, man. It might be like, if you add the game tonight, it might be like 0-24 or something like that. When we trail going into the fourth quarter, we never win. Period. We do not win the game. And watching what happened tonight,
I wasn't aware of that, bro. I'm gonna have to look. What is that again? You just said when
we're going into the fourth quarter
and
we're trailing, when we don't have the lead.
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever won all season.
Wow, let me look that up, brother. Carry on.
Try and find that stat, man. But what I saw tonight, man, was another disaster. Like, the game was tied at 90 with was it 32 seconds left, or it might have been 50 something seconds before we got all those rebounds, right? Right, Lex? I know you took notes. I didn't take notes on that.
You are so funny.
Nah, you be on it, man. I'm trying to cheat off the cheat sheet right now. I don't remember the exact numbers, but
4 seconds.
Okay. But the Pels proceeded to get 4 offensive rebounds, and for some reason, I don't know why, they just figured they needed a 3.
Yeah, they were jacking up. They weren't.
They just like, it was almost like a J.R. Smith moment as a team.
Yeah,
they just panicked, and everybody thought they needed a 3. Like they did. They didn't realize the shot clock. It actually resets, guys. Like, calm down. We don't need a 3-pointer. Like, we just need to score. Just need to score and keep the momentum. You very rarely see a team get 4 offensive rebounds and do not score, man. It was a panic.
DC, I looked it up. They said it was they're 0-22.
0-22. Okay, I was off.
That's horrible.
Hey, DC, you were close. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
0-22. Devin said 0-24. I didn't see 0-20. That is horrible, man.
Oh, you know what, Q? That's probably Devin and me are thinking alike, because we're adding the probably those 2 the game tonight and the playing game with the Lakers.
Oh, there you go.
That was a close game too.
That's awful, bro.
But matter of fact, the Lakers game, we were actually leading, so that goes the other way. We were leading going, or were we leading going
No,
into the
it
fourth?
was tied. It was tied.
Hey, that tied
And
or
then,
trailing.
yeah, never
If we
took
don't have a
the lead.
lead going into the fourth, now I would imagine when the Pels have a lead going into the fourth, they typically win those games because you realize when we have it going, and the third quarter is huge for us. When we come out of that third quarter and we got our behinds handed to us, we typically always lose. So
That's awful.
it's a lack of adjusting, man, and understanding that, because
Hey,
that's not one of the things you can live with as a team, man. I mean, some things you like, okay, we got a weak point here. You know, we're not the best rebounder team. We're gonna get out and run, do whatever we try to do to make up for that. We ain't gonna crash the boards as hard because we know we don't get rebounds. So let's figure out a different way. But going into the fourth quarter,
You see,
and you
hold
don't have a lead, or you
He's-
can't. You got to figure something out, man.
just a second. He go BI, bro. Let's see what they got to say. We'll come right back.
Good job of keeping his hands on me, being physical, keeping body tonight. And the rest of that guys just being keyed in on drives, knowing personnel, and disrupting the game.
And what do you feel like, an adjustment you guys can make if Dort's just going to be, like kind of right in your jersey or Jalen Williams or whatever?
Let them do it. We'll be ready. I'll be ready. Let them do it.
Yeah, and then there was, I think, a sequence, last 2 minutes or so where you guys got 4 offensive rebounds and weren't able to score off that, in a really close game. Is that kind of like one of those, I guess, ones that makes a difference in the end?
Maybe, anything can turn a game. But we played defense at a high level today. We know we gotta lock into the details of the game. Lou Dort had a couple offensive rebounds along with a lot of guys that had offensive rebounds. But we come back, we lock in. I think the encouraging thing is we lost by 2 tonight, and some of our players didn't have their best games, and we're encouraged by that.
Guys trying to, put hands on you and stuff like that, get physical with you. That's something that's not new to you. That's just something you've experienced your whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general, what do you need to do to respond when guys are trying to play you like that?
Continue to be myself. Go back to the film. Communicate with the guys what I can do better. How I can make the game a little bit easier for myself and for my teammates. And just be strong with the basketball, I played Lou Dort. I played OKC a lot of times and had a lot of success. So this won't be the first time.
And just in general, what do you think about the job y'all were able to do against Shea tonight? Just throwing a whole bunch of different bodies at him and trying to give him different looks.
Well, he still made some tough shots, some important shots. But we just try to throw different bodies at him, stay in front of him, send help where it was needed, and just try to keep him off balance. I still think he was aggressive. He attacked. He got his teammates involved. And we just try to continue to throw different things at him just to try to keep him off balance.
And you mentioned, a few guys didn't necessarily shoot the ball as well as you're used to seeing it. What do you think would be the key in game 2 just to get better looks on offense, just to be a little bit more efficient on that end?
Yeah, well, I thought we got good looks, especially driving and kicking out to the 3. We had maybe 10 open threes. We just didn't shoot well tonight, and that won't be every night. We'll continue to get those shots. We'll continue to see what's open, and like I said, we'll go back to this film and try to dissect it and see how we can be better.
With you battling back from injury, coming off these last 2 games and finally get here and be in the playoffs and be able to get back, kind of starting to try to get back in the rhythm. I mean, how do you try to, get back into that rhythm? Obviously in the playoffs now.
Yeah, keep shooting. I'm not here for nothing. The story is already written. I just keep going, find my groove, but in the midst of the offense, it's not about me. I'll find myself as we continue to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my next question. I mean, even when your shot wasn't falling, obviously you're still getting your teammates involved, getting to your spots to get them open looks. I mean, how did you feel about the way that you guys did that today? And that it was close.
You know, it just wasn't consistent enough for me. Got to be more in control of the game. Got to make good plays, no matter the physicality or not. And I got to be there for my teammates. He kept us in the game. He was part of it, knocking down his shots, getting to the rim, finishing. And on the defensive end, he was solid too. Standing in front of Jalen Williams, standing in front of other guys, and we got some good offense from his defense. Appreciate you.
All right. That's Bi, man. As calm and cool as he always is. DC. I want DC to continue his commentary. Then Lex chime in.
That definitely was Bi, man.
Yeah.
He's definitely a big part of why we lost this game. I remember also speaking last game. I said, man, there's no way in hell that CJ McCullough can have more shots than Bi. If that happens, we won't win. And here we are again. PJ 22 shots to Bi 17, but nonetheless, Bi definitely didn't have it going today. I thought we missed a potential mismatch with JV, man. We were all concerned about Chet, blowing past him and being too fast for JV, too big for Larry. But actually, I think JV had a decent mismatch with him. He did have some turnovers and stuff, so I can kind of get why they started looking away from him, man. But I just thought as soon as Willie decided to lean all the way into Larry,
Yeah,
that's
he don't.
when the problem started, man.
He doesn't fully trust JV because he's locked into that small ball. He's in love with it.
Yeah, I like
It's really
I like
sad.
some aspects of it though, Lex. But it's like,
Yeah, it's the timing though, DC.
how can we go to? We went to like an all defensive lineup
Yeah,
at
of
some
course.
point in
That's
the
his
third, man,
that's
and
his
that turned
mechanism.
the whole game.
That's his default mechanism, though.
he
Look,
put
he has
Dice
two.
out there. It was
He has
Dice,
two default
Najee,
mechanisms.
Trey, Larry Nance, and was it CJ? I'm like, man, how the hell we gonna score in this lineup? And the end of the end of the third, Lex, guess what? We were down by 6. And 6 points in this game might have been damn double digits the way they were scoring.
Yeah, Willie Green does not believe in balance. I mean, you heard him say that they couldn't make shots. I'm like, oh Lord.
Man, we got 2 bona fide shot makers on the bench, Willie.
No, but listen to what he said. We just couldn't make shots. Interesting, Willie. So if you can't make shots, what do you do? Oh, we put in more defense.
That's right.
That like,
Is James Borrego even saying anything at this point? I mean,
I don't. You know what? Right now,
he has to
Willie
see
has
that.
shown that he's in control. Because
Mm.
the thing is, how can you sit up there in
Willie
your
Green be
presser
ignoring
and
James, man.
say that we just didn't make shots, but you have a defensive lineup in the game, Willie? Like, again, you had that was a checkers mentality and not a chess mentality. You can't sit up there in the presser and say something like that, but yet you went deeper into a defensive lineup. Look, I understand defense wins the chip. We ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
it's
the thing
it's even simpler than that, Lex.
you
Though
have
I
to
know you
understand
can't play
the
JV a
game
lot of minutes, but you don't think I'm gonna let you continue. But you don't think just having him out there, even with the all defensive lineup, you see how they was doubling JV?
Yeah.
Why would you go away from
It was
that?
and the crazy thing is it was opening up the shooters. It was for the slashers.
Man,
If you notice, the game was moving a whole lot better because they actually sent 3 people down there to guard JV. Y'all see that?
yeah.
It wasn't just 2, sometimes it was 3. And it's like, dude, Larry Nance is not going to have that type of gravity.
Nope.
The only person other than Zion who on this team that has that type of gravity is JV. Like, and this is crazy because, like, I'm not trying to bust anybody's bubble. BI does not have gravity. The reason being is that you have wing defenders out here in the league. You have one in Lou Dort.
Lou Dort doesn't normally cover BI as well, though.
Well, I'm just saying, whether it's Isaiah Joe or Lou Dort, they did a pretty solid job. You know what I'm saying? I guess according to Willie Green, give them credit.
You're right, Jay Black. They wasn't calling no fouls for us. They weren't calling a lot of fouls for the Thunder either, though. Even though they got some miraculous fouls.
No, it was lopsided. Like Shea was going to the line. I mean, they weren't, but
that and one was ridiculous.
OKC was making a lot of mistakes down the stretch. And plus they went 5 minutes going scoreless. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there were opportunities other than the foul calls. Cause I mean, I don't know, man. I'm tired of the refs, but I mean, they still had a chance, man. I mean, like, you have to understand, and that's why I was saying JV punishing down low, giving Chet Holmgren those love taps. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like getting physical, man. That's a lot of man. When you look at JV, man, going up against that all series, they need to pound that ball. They need to pound that ball on the inside and make Chet's teammates go and double. That is going to open up our shooters for better shots, and it opens up the slashers, like stuff that Herb Jones likes to do. Like I saw a lot of positive things, but the Pels didn't take advantage of it, man. They didn't take advantage of it. And then when Chet comes out the game, hey, man, that's when you need to send in Larry to guard light-skinned Jalen Williams. Okay? I'm saying, the complexion, to differentiate.
Yeah, they call one of them, what they call him, C-Dub, I think. Oh, boy.
I don't know that.
I don't know, DC. I just differentiate him. The guy without the up in his back.
The other Jalen Williams.
He plays the 5. He's their small ball guy.
Right.
It was killing us with Larry out there, man. I'm like, man, they actually went small and they do it better than us.
But the thing is that you should have made that adjustment. All you have to do, because Larry's mobile, right? So you're matching up mobile to mobile, because when JV was guarding him, he was going out to the 3-point line. Now, I will say JV was making an effort. He wasn't just letting him have open shots. He was closing out on him, and he did miss some, but he did make some key ones down the stretch. So I'm just saying, like, you got to go, like, understand, like, I feel like the advantages are there, but it's about the timing of when we go small. You can't, like, you got to understand. And plus, like I said, when Mark subbed Chet in, when JV was going to go sit down, Willie should have said, hey, no, JV, go back in. He should have did that, because that's what, when the Mark saw that, he made the adjustment, and Willie didn't adjust back. He just went on with with his original plan. And I was like, the timing of that was like, oh my gosh, I see what that dude is doing. I see it.
You forgot, Lex.
Huh?
We're in the playoffs. We're not in the regular season no more.
No, we're not in the regular season.
It's not 10 games to make an adjustment now, Lex. It's 2 games.
I don't know. That was a Willie Green mindset. But you know what I'm saying?
You make adjustments every 2 games now. It's the playoffs.
Oh, shoot. No, it's still 10.
You got to wait 2 games.
It's still 10.
No, it's 2 games. We don't have enough for it to be 10.
I mean,
you got to wait 2 games. Lex, we got to see it on tape twice, and then we'll make an adjustment. So you gotta sit through this again. When OKC played when we play them on is it Tuesday?
Wednesday.
When we play them on Wednesday, we're gonna be back here with some of the same talking points. Hopefully,
Hey,
get the dub,
I,
and then
I,
we'll make an adjustment when we go home.
I will say this: when JV sits down, we really do need to emphasize ball movement and player movement. BI and CJ were over dribbling too much. They were over dribbling. And I'm like, can you guys move the ball? The ball passing in the air is a whole lot faster than you dribbling. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has to be emphasized more. And a couple of times, CJ, again, when he took 1 or 2, at the most 3 dribbles, it was a good shot. It was a good shot. He drained it. And it's like, the thing is like, look, JV's not in the game. So you don't have that person out there that's commanding double and triple teams. What's the next answer? The answer is ball movement and player movement. You have the ability to do that. You showed that tonight. You showed it in spurts, but you have to keep going into it. And look, another thing I saw, I ain't trying to see these heat checks, man. Y'all better go. Y'all better go on somewhere with that. Trey, he had a few moments where he wanted to get his heat check on, and CJ did too. Man, this is the playoffs, man. Every possession matters. Let's get a good shot. Don't come and do a heat check and it's fresh at it's a fresh shot clock. Y'all gotta be kidding me, man. Really? That's what we doing? Hey man, we don't have time for that. Get the best shot. Move the ball. Players move. Set some screens, run your sets, all that good stuff, and get the shot because we were getting them. I did feel that like early on, the shots were too difficult. The game wasn't coming easy because BI was taking a lot of tough shots. And I'm like, BI, dog, you don't got to do that, man. Move the ball. Move the ball so you can take an easier shot. And that's been another Achilles heel all season. Not making the game hard, but making the game easy. Like this stuff, it's like, again, it's, the panic mode button. You know what I'm saying? Performing down the stretch, the decision making down the stretch, and then making the game hard instead of making the game easy. That stuff is like, you saw that in full effect on tonight. And then the over dribbling. We can't do that, man. There's a lot of good things, but those small details that we always talk about, Big Q, that we always talk about, DC, those small details, those small things, just the small things, it killed us on tonight.
Yeah, I was looking at a tweet from Rod Walker. He says that in close games this season, after tonight, the Pelicans are 1-8 in games decided by 3 points or less. So none of the close or clutch stats.
Damn, even when we was leading, we still lost.
That's what I'm saying. That none of that's a problem, man. That's a problem in preparation. But let's kind of, lean forward. The next matchup is Wednesday night against this same team, same building.
Well, to lean forward, we gotta do like Fat Joe and lean back, Q, because we got to keep harping on the pass with these clutch scenarios. Because this is playoff basketball, man.
So let's
execute in the last minutes.
Right, so let's talk about that. Let's go ahead on and kind of talk about what needs to happen in the matchup, man, and how do you guys think it'll play in game 2 on Wednesday? We have to split with these guys to make it a series. So we got to split because I don't see us being able to win both games at home. So we got to steal one on the road. We've been road warriors. I think the Pels.
I love the confidence, DC. I love.
Hold on,
Lex. Look, we seen them melt down.
I was just being sarcastic.
Here come Trey and CJ on the mic. We'll come right back to it, fam. Just a second. Go the way you were
going. For me, I would just say it was just being aggressive, letting the game come to me. and just trying to make the right play. I also played well defensively. I feel like first half I had a few, defensive mistakes, and I tried to make up for it second half.
I mean, throughout the game, it seemed like, altogether, obviously the atmosphere had a lot to do with the swing of the game and everything for both of you guys. I mean, what is it like playing in this atmosphere at this point in the season?
No, I mean, for me, like going into the game, you're obviously excited for the game. And then we ran out there for layup lines, and you just see the crowd, you feel the energy in there, and it just gives you a second win. Like, you get really excited for it. Like, these are the moments you live for as a child. And so, I'm just grateful to be a part of it.
Hey, CJ, what did you just see on the final play? What do you think about the look you got right before the buzzer?
Got the switch. I should have attacked a little earlier, a little faster, but credit him. It was good defense. One fake step through. I thought it was cash, and I missed it long, but game shouldn't have came down to that. We had some possessions that we didn't take advantage of. Defensively, I gave a couple of offensive rebounds to Dort. We had a turnover off an offensive rebound. I missed the open three from the wing after we had 3 or 4 possessions, 3 turnovers. So I think there's just ways we can tighten up a little bit better so that it doesn't come down to that. But I like my chances, with the ball down the stretch. I'll live with that.
You guys got 4 offensive rebounds and weren't able to convert at one point late in the fourth quarter. Is that one where you look at like, man, that's a really close game?
That's the one. That's the one we got to have. And, those are the moments where, you got a chance to kind of, close the door on them. And we didn't do that. But, credit them. They played well. They battled back and they won the game.
I know it's the playoffs. Just how, I guess, handsy or physical did that game feel overall?
I shot 22 times, 0 free throws.
Going into this one, they're going to feed Shea, almost every time down. What are some of the keys when you're game planning against him to try to just make things tough on him?
He's good. He's in the MVP race for a reason. He finishes well around the basket. He's got to step back, gets to his midi. Very hard to guard, and I think you've seen that tonight.
And just seeing the way that they're guarding BI, what do y'all think some of the things that y'all need to do to try to maybe free him up or get open looks for other guys? How do you just kind of combat the way you're guarding him?
So I'll watch the film tonight and we'll come up with a game plan for next game.
For you, Trey, just being able to, you talked about, just being in a whole different place the last time you were on this stage. Just how did it feel just to, be able to do some of the things you did during the regular season in this game, hit some shots, and be able to make an impact?
Well, I think overall it's just staying calm, staying even the entire time, and, just losing yourself into the game. That was the biggest thing. I feel like early on I was definitely, excited, amped up. As the game progressed, I feel like I settled down a little bit and just lost myself into the game.
How important will it be to continue to attack the offensive boards against that team, knowing y'all got, some size advantage in certain positions and being able to use that to kind of fuel some of the other things y'all do on offense?
It's very important. You gotta get second chance points. I try to get more opportunities on the goal.
All right.
Hey,
That'll
Big
do
Q,
it for them. Yes.
how many times did the Pelicans go to the line compared to OKC?
It was a 4-point discrepancy. I want to say the Pelicans were 7 of 9 from the foul line for 78%. The Thunder was 10 of 13 for 77%. So, they hit 10 versus the Pelicans hitting, 7. So it's a 3-point difference, and the game was decided by 2.
Yeah. So if they
So it's
went
a huge
100% from the free throw line, it would have been tied, maybe gone in
They would've-
overtime.
Yeah, they would have eventually tied it up. But yeah, that is pretty much how the discrepancy went. But like I said, we could talk about, and the referees were hideous in this game as always. I mean that's the thing that we can't control how they're gonna come out and officiate the games, but we can control what we do in the game, especially when we taking unintelligent shots. We don't seize our opportunities like we're supposed to. We don't play through who we were supposed to. Who we gonna blame that on? The refs?
Matches.
Well, I mean, when you got people from Sesame Street out there reffing the game, Q, I don't know what you expect, man.
That guy's not from Sesame Street, DC. That guy is a Sasquatch. He's from the Black Forest or somewhere. But anyway, listen, the bottom line is, man, Y'all ain't see that humpback running around. Never mind. Anyway, listen, bro. The bottom line is, bro, we got to fix this. So looking forward, I know you had the floor, DC. You know, you was talking about what the Pelicans need to do to kind of close this thing out and kind of get a win. We got to win this second game here. We had it. Still in the first one was key. The OKC were rusty as hell. We should have taken it, but now they look like they're going to pick up a little steam for game 2. What do we need to do?
Contrary to the belief of all of us, this all ain't on Willie. Lex, you said Willie does play well in the college atmosphere. Well, he got a college atmosphere tonight. This felt a lot like a college basketball game. And I thought a lot of different things the Pels did. They had great opportunities, and they didn't execute. This game, whether you want to give the credit, because I think from the last minute on, man, it was a lack of awareness, situational awareness. I saw somebody in the chat and said, "Man, I'm telling you, the Pels they thought they were down by 2." And that make all the sense in the world, my brother. Whoever that was said that, because that's exactly how they played. Like they just weren't aware of the situation, what was going on, and what they need to do. Now, I do understand that also goes into preparation. I don't know what their game plan is as far as their drills they run for under 5 minutes, or if they're practicing that, man, because you can't be in that scenario and just panic the way they have repeatedly all year. You know, we cannot win playoff basketball like that. I do believe when BI has it going, that gives us a huge advantage to be able to win a game like that. But, you know, he got to pretty much be playoff BI that we saw against the Suns. With this current rendition of the guys we have on the Pels, I think we can get it done. But what they really need to do, man, they need to pay attention to detail down the stretch and not lose focus at the end of the game, man. You have to execute. It gets harder, and continue to play team ball. Like they got to trust their guys, man. CJ taking these off-brand early threes. Zion not out there, man. We're not trying to create the space for Zion. I wasn't crazy about it, but I saw the method to the madness when they were trying to open up things more for Zion. But, you know, we're jacking these threes up and doing this and that. Like, we're not even dominating the paint like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we needed to get in the paint a little more.
Yeah. Henceforth, dumping it down to JV. You know,
Yeah, man. And
him.
Q, you put a flash report out from what was it? And you talked about a few people talking about the Pels, and I think Tim Legler, you know, he made a comment about the Pels and BI. And one of the guys on there he said the Pelicans don't know who they are. And I was like, huh? And then I thought about it, and he's right, man. We don't know if we want to attack the paint. We don't know if we want to try to bombs away from the 3-point line. We don't. It's sad, but Lex has been saying it all year too. We don't have an identity outside of obviously defense first and create offense off of our defense. That's our identity. Okay. But outside of that, as an offense, we don't know who we are. When you can't create offense off your defense, we don't know who we are. We get stuck. We don't know what we want to do, and we settle for ISO basketball, even though it's supposed to be 0.5 and we're supposed to be moving the ball around, man. We just keep getting crossed in between that. And I think the Pels need to look at some of the sets that they decide to run, man, and really get with guys and get their input on what they think will work better, and practice the hell out of that shit before Wednesday, man, because we need to have some surefire shit that we feel comfortable about at the end of these games. Something that they just know immediately to go to after you got your third rebound or your second rebound. Okay, man, they got 4 offensive rebounds, man, and just kept doing the same thing. And they looked shocked when they didn't score. And man, it's like at what point are you going to reset and get to something that you feel comfortable in instead of jacking stuff up? So we got to get our poise, man. And I think they need to learn to be calm in those situations. Fortunately for the Pels, they're going to be constantly faced with these situations in the playoffs. So I do think this is something that they can do, but will they do it? That's the question.
You know what, DC? We've been saying that they need to address these things all season. You know, and the thing is now that when it means the most, you know what I'm saying?
Trial
Like
by fire, Lex.
we're basically asking, no, but seriously, in regular season, you work on the things that you need to work on so that when you get into the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? They won't become an issue. Well, the thing is because of the lack of addressing these things are coming back to haunt the Pels because we know that they have not been doing well in the clutch. We know that, look, even with CJ and BI, like, because down the stretch, I've noticed they're the ones mainly handling the ball in the clutch because Willie has gone to them. Willie trusts those guys. Well, guess what? Those two guys, the quote unquote leaders of the team, they're panicking the most, which is sad. That's wrong right there. Why are, I guess, in alluding to you, Big Q, how much they getting paid? You know what I'm saying?
30 plus mil.
And the coach is trusting you guys to handle the rock. Many a times they went to them too, and they danced with the ball. They were panicking. They didn't know how to play basketball. This isn't the first time this has happened. They've done this before. And so, like, if you're not addressing these things and you just keep on doing these same things over and over again, expecting a different result, like, dude, that's a recipe for disaster. What do you think's going to happen in the playoffs? So now we're in a position where, man, it's basically you're throwing up a prayer. And that's basically what they did. B.I., shoot the ball. Jack up this three. Oh, please go in. Oh, it didn't go in. Trigger. Let me throw it. Slingshot it. Oh, it didn't go in. CJ, let me slingshot it. Please go in. Please, please, please. It didn't go in. Ref stop, stop the game. And it's like, okay, you have three guys that shot the ball, slingshot it at the basket. They threw up a prayer. It didn't go in. So what's the next best thing? Willie, call a timeout to settle your guys down because that's a part of the coaching process too. Hey, man, y'all need to calm down. We basketball players. We professional basketball players. CJ, come on now. Get yourself together. BI, come on, man. Step it up. Where's the composure? You know what I'm saying? That's what you do as a coach. You give that, you empower that to your team so they can calm down. And then you take the clipboard and you draw up a play. Hopefully, in theory, you want it to be a play that OKC hasn't seen before. But according to the analytics of the lack of creativity in the coaching department, we know that you won't do that. So that's another whammy that hurts us right there. It's like, all this stuff is just, we've been talking about it. We've been talking about this stuff. And it's coming back to haunt the Pels in the most important time. But, we got to find a way. We got to find a way. I mean, Jay Black, I mean, I understand we got James Borrego, but it's like, what good is saying James Borrego or mentioning him if the offense is not showing that at all? I mean, we did that with D'Antoni. He's a consultant. Where he at?
He's
Where's
saying it's on the players though. Lexi says Borrego's offense failing one Iverson cut, high single side bump with corner exit. It was so many plays ran. It's on the players. So
Yeah,
he
well,
brought up
I
James
mentioned
Borrego's, but he putting
players
the
first.
onus on the players.
But I mean, it's both. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if the players didn't have it, you know, all I'm saying is Willie had an opportunity to call that timeout. That would have been a great time because the ref stopped the game because the shot clock didn't reset. You know what I'm saying? And they took a few minutes to get that together. That was an opportune time. That was almost a blessing in disguise. And you know, timeout wasn't called to get the team together and run a play to execute a shot. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if the players are not doing what they need to do, which I did point out, you know, CJ, BI, they should know to calm down. They shouldn't be panicking, especially CJ.
Yeah, relax. They were just jacking up them damn shots. And AJ makes a good point about BI getting his average tonight. I mean, like I said, I don't want, and Jay Black made a good statement about it being on the players, man. Let's not, you know, with the game, they lost by 2 tonight.
Yeah, they
And
did.
BI had 12 points tonight.
Yeah.
And he was the number one option. He played 37 minutes tonight and shot 29% from the field. He didn't hit the 3. He finished with 12 points in the playoff game, the first playoff game. He was the first option. And you know what the thing is too, fam? And like I said, this was a game. I'm kind of peeved about this because y'all see we sit up here every night and do these games, and we see this stuff happen over and over again. So it's not like we haven't seen it before. We know the patterns, the mental, and even the spiritual patterns of this team. We know how to behave in certain situations. So when we see stuff happen, people get all excited. Like, hold on, man. We recognize the patterns. We know how the team is going to react in certain situations, and it's up to right. They have certain tendencies. Listen, and what I'm saying is, if we could recognize this, they can recognize that they being the adversaries. They got physical with BI in this game. They put their most physical defender on BI, and the guy is like 6'5" or whatnot, but they put a physical cover on Brandon Ingram, and the referees let it, you know, for pretty much the majority of the game up into the last two or 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I decided to get physical.
Right. But to see the thing is though, DC,
But they were playing those veteran cards too. You see that? How whether, you know, they made those flops believable. And BI, he has been pushing off. He be pushing off. He's been doing that all season. I'm like, man, BI, I hope, dog, you can't do that, man. They gonna call that.
But see,
they did call it tonight.
But Lou Dort was pushing him, Lex. He was holding his arm. He was doing all type of stuff. You
But y'all know how they
can't
are.
not call that on Lou Dort and then call that on him. I get what you're saying.
Hey, I'm with you, DC.
Any other game, I agree with you, but this game, it was hacking the man.
But DC, he wasn't the only one pushing off. He wasn't the only one pushing off.
I wrote down every foul. The stuff on Jose.
Hold on, Lex. Shea was
down everything.
Yeah, Shea damn sure. He always
pushing off. Shea was pushing off with his off arm. Humpback was out there pushing off. So I mean, they had people out here running.
Who Humpback?
I told you figure it out. But these guys. No, the other Williams, Humpback Williams. They got.
You talking about dark skin Jalen?
Oh
yeah,
wow.
DJ.
So he a humpback whale. That's what you saying?
Yeah, because he does have a hump.
He got a hump in his neck, brother.
Oh my goodness. He need to work on his posture. That was bothering me. But you know what? It does kind of look like a Hunchback of Notre Dame, though.
Well, I mean, it works for his defense because he's like organically leaning forward, so he does seem to make very good defense plays. But anyway, outside the man Humpback, what I'm saying is, in terms of the Pelicans' physical, how the team got physical with them, and it showed, you know, an impact, especially with Brandon Ingram. You see, and then when Brandon Ingram started to get frustrated a bit. You seen that arm come out. Referees got him on it. Now, one of those was, I agree, was a flop. Even Willie was like, "That's a flop," and the guy said, Tony Brother said, "That's not a flop." But we seen some peculiar calls going on. But like I'm saying, Brandon Ingram in this game, man, they were being really physical with Ingram, and it worked to a degree because he got 12 points. And I did see Dort was putting his hand on him and grabbing him and holding him and doing all that kind of stuff. But what could you do? You got to play through that. You're the star. You're the top option. If you don't give your production 9 times out of 10, we're going to lose this game. And we had 12 points tonight. I don't care what anybody say. If you're the star and the top option of the team, Zion is hurt. BI is the top option of the team. He can't have 12 points in 37 minutes of a game and expect for the Pelicans to win. If he scores his average, the Pelicans run away with this game. But we need his production. He can't disappear in these playoff games, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, back to y'all guys.
Go ahead, Lex. You got it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, both BI really need to step up. I think OKC, they're really smart on drawing fouls. I've really noticed that. Like I said, they're for them to be a young team, as young as they are, they really do a good job on just on really selling it and really exposing those angles for the refs to make those calls. Veteran guys, they do that type stuff. So it's kind of astonishing to me for them to be as young as they are, that they already have learned that. Because I mean, really, when you look at the Pels, I mean, the Pels play in the realms within the game, but they don't really study those angles. You know what I'm saying? To really, to make it, I guess, for the ref to make those calls. But because they do it for Shea all the time. I mean, but I saw a lot of holding. It was really lopsided. I'm like, golly, man. I mean, so y'all caught that petty foul down there, but dude had his arms wrapped around the dude's waist, and it was obvious. But I don't know, maybe flinging the arms, whiplash in the head back or something is something that we just gotta adopt to get something going. But you gotta you just have to find a way to attack and get involved. But I think keeping JV in the game, I know you all saying like BI, he's really got to step up, but JV is going to allow a little bit more open shots for BI if they're emphasizing him down low. Because like I said, I don't know if you noticed, nobody was doubling BI. Nobody was triple teaming BI. They were doing that to JV because Chet, it's too much for Chet. Chet cannot handle that big boy. He can't handle him. So the thing is, when that happens, and I hope they see that in film, when that happens, man, guys got to be ready to shoot. And I'm not saying and I wish when Brandon got the ball, and this is the same thing with Trey. Hey, man, if the defense is collapsing on JV and he's shooting that outlet pass, hey, dude, you don't always have to dribble. Pull up on the shot. I think sometimes, I guess when the defense is trying to recover on either Trey or Brandon, they want to, dribble, it's to force them to dribble off the line. Well, for Trey, it is. And for BI, I mean, he does that a lot anyway. But it's like sometimes 1 or 2 dribbles or no dribbles and just pulling up, that's an option. And I wish Trey and Brandon would do that a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be like an ISO situation. Sometimes you have enough cushion to pull up. How tall are they? How tall is Trey?
6'10".
How tall is BI?
About the same.
Yeah.
Maybe
Man,
6'9".
y'all gotta pull up. Y'all going against 6'5" dudes, man. And when you add the jump and then your arms, your wingspan, pull up on them shots. Stop making them stop convincing yourself that, oh, they're running me off the line. No, Trey, you're telling yourself that they're running you off the line. Pull up and get a 4-point play. Let them hit you, man. Stop being a punk about it and pull up and let them dudes hit you so you can drain the 3 and go to the line for the M1. Like that is there. It's there. But I kind of feel like they afraid to get hit or something. Like, pull up. Man, KD does that stuff all the time, man. He just pulls up. You know why? Because he long and slinky. Both of them, B.I. and Trey are long and slinky. Pull up and stop putting the ball on the floor all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, like facts.
There you go, Q. You might like that message by Devin C right there.
I said that years ago, bro, and since then he's improved that quick step, that first step. He has improved it since. Remember,
Bi is definitely, man, still hurting. He's not fully 100%. You can see it. Like Devin says, he don't have no explosiveness, man, at all. You know, I seen him with the dribble trying to break somebody down off the dribble. It just looks so un-Bi-ish. So he's definitely playing with a little bit of a handicap, but he's gonna have to do like like Lex is saying, and just pull up. With Trey, far as what you're saying, Lex, I think he's being told that. I think because Trey a lot of times would only shoot threes, remember? And now he's trying to handle the ball a little bit more. He's letting people run him off the line. He's trying to, I guess, break down the defense and get in, get a dunk, get to the line, different stuff like that. But definitely need to pull up on some of those, man,
Yeah,
and stop
man.
being so timid.
Hey,
As
we'll
far as
definitely go to
taking
the
them
foul because
threes.
it's wide open. Wide open, DC.
It
Now,
is, but I think the main thing
they
that we not talking about, what I noticed, at least in games that matter, especially when things get tight, right? When things aren't tight and things are flowing, we're like, okay, the Pelicans just form a rendition of them the way they are. We can probably operate without a point guard, right? But when things get really tight, I don't understand why we don't have Jose in the game. We need a point guard. Jose may not be, he's not Chris Paul or anything, but Jose plays with enough edge, right, Lex, and
Yeah.
poise to be able to
And
calm
good
the team
he's a
down.
good decision maker too, for the most
He
part, under
is,
pressure.
and
he the
they never have him in these clutch scenarios. I
But
think
he got
having
Larry
Jose
Nance
out
up in
there
there.
with whatever lineup, whoever you decide to take out, I think that might help a lot with a lot of these late game blunders, man. So if we would have had Jose and JV out there towards the end of the game,
Yeah.
I mean, would the outcome be the same?
JV definitely should have been out there down the stretch. But the thing is, again, tendencies, Big Q. Willie Green's tendency is like he's in love with Larry Nance. He's in
yeah,
love with him.
yep, he
Like,
loved
Larry Nance makes Willie Green's small ball go. Like he brings it into fruition. So I mean, there's a lot of self tendencies that's gonna hurt. And it's so hard for Willie to go against those things because, again, it's like, yeah, like you said, Jose, he, for the most part, Jose doesn't panic because he's a pressure guy.
Yeah, he
He
likes.
he puts pressure on guys. So if you put pressure on guys and that's what you do, that's your niche, that's your game. You don't think somebody who does that they can't handle pressure themselves? So
Mhm.
it makes sense to have him out there as well as JV because again, JV is a problem for Chet. We saw that tonight. The man had 20 rebounds.
Mhm.
Did
Yep.
Chet have 20 rebounds? How many
No,
rebounds Chet had?
Not 20.
Chet had
He had 11.
11 rebounds, 15 points, 11 boards.
Solid
I
game.
mean, JV had
5 blocks though,
9
man. Them
more.
blocks hurt
He
though.
doubled that basically.
Oh, them 5 blocks hurt, boy. That Larry layup, boy, that killed us.
Yeah, that Larry. And then he had a missed dunk. Didn't he have a missed dunk?
Yeah, Larry missed 2 key shots that would have extended the lead to either
I'm
4
not mad at
maybe
Larry though, Lex. Like, why is Larry even in the game to attempt those shots in this game?
Because of
well,
what Lexxah just said, that Willie loved.
He's 6'7". Chet
Okay.
is like 7'2". What is Larry
Willie
doing?
Green is in love with Larry Nance because he makes his small ball. Larry Nance is the whole key to Willie Green's small ball lineup.
Is it really Willie Green in love with small ball, or he in love with switch everything? Because I think it's switch everything. If
He's
we
in
had a
love.
big guy, let's
That
say
man is in
Jonathan
love
Isaac,
with Larry
he still would be
Nance.
small.
Can it be the same thing, D? Can it be two things can be right at the same time? I mean, that's what it
He's in
sounds like.
love with Larry
Well,
Nance.
if we had a big guy that could switch everything, I don't think we would have to play small.
He had an opportunity to make a trade before the trade deadline and try to find somebody close to that, and we opted to stay with what we got. So we got to use.
Do we think? I don't know. This is the actual question. I'm not trying to be funny. Do we think Willie is so in love with everybody he didn't want to trade anybody, or did he ask Doc Ock to pull one of them levers with his tentacles and nothing happened?
I don't know about all that, but he's in love with Larry Nance. Okay, he's in love with him.
That's what you do, though, huh, Lex?
I mean, he loves that man. Like, look, Larry just got back from injury. All right, Larry, you're gonna play 40 minutes tonight.
Oh man.
He does that.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like we see this all the time. He loves that dude, man.
Yeah.
He's ride or die with Larry. Because he loves that.
Larry made some plays too. Now we can't do him like Larry made some. He had some very good steals and very good defensive
but the
plays.
thing is, again, you have to understand the flow of the game, DC. You have to understand what the game needs. You have to understand what your advantages are. And right then and there, Larry made 4 key mistakes. He did the pick and roll, but guess what? He had a missed dunk. I think he was too far. You know what I'm saying? I think he thought he was Clyde Drexler, but he didn't make it. You know, he needed to get closer to the basket before he made that big, huge leap. And he's not acrobatic at the rim. So the thing is, you know, he missed that shot. He missed another bunny. He turned the ball over by passing the ball to Trey when Trey was out of bounds, when he could have passed McCollum, which was right there. He was clearly on the court. That was a mental mistake. You know what I'm saying? And those were key moments right there. And you know what? All of them involved Larry. All of them involved him. And it's funny because when light-skinned Jalen, when he scored on a corner 3 and JV went out there to contest him, do y'all know what Willie Green did next? Immediately, without question, Larry Nance went to the table. JV makes a mistake. He pulls JV quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's like, JV, please make a mistake so I can.
In Willie's defense, Lex, JV made a mistake on defense. That's not allowed.
No, I know he closed out.
You can make all the mistakes in the world on offense.
No, but I'm just saying, Larry made 3, but he didn't pull Larry.
Yeah, he didn't make defensive mistakes. He made offensive mistakes. That don't matter.
Okay. A mistake is a mistake. I mean, but didn't he say in the presser, we didn't make shots?
That's
Something's
right.
contradicting, man.
We didn't make shots because JV made some defensive mistakes, and that's
all right.
But you understand what I'm saying?
That's
Like
how you see it, man.
he gives Larry Nance, because he's in love with him. Somebody you in love with Be like, "How you made a mistake? How like you went out on a date with a dude? Like, oh, okay, I'll take you back." You know what I'm saying? You can make all the mistakes in the world, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to give Larry those chances. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and actually, yeah, Larry did. He did have 2 bad passes, and they were unforced. It was like it was a mental breakdown. It's like, dog, you can't do that. As a veteran, you can't do that. Like I wouldn't want like Trey to do it or Herb to do it. You know what I'm saying? But CJ and Larry, and I'll put B up in there. Hey man, y'all can't make mistakes like that. Something like that, making bad pass. I expect something like that from Jay Hawk. You know what I'm saying? But come on, guys. As veterans, man, you can't have mental breakdowns, especially like at key moments. That playoffs is about detail. It's about detail.
Yeah. Man, facts all the way around. My take on this one, fam, and we about to get ready to shut the stream down. I like to give a shout out to everybody, man. Got a few more comments we're gonna throw in there before it's, but shout out to everybody, man, for being up late. The Pelicans falling short 94-92 to a rusty OKC team who really was trying to give the Pelicans this game, man. They were missing shots, turning the ball over late. We just couldn't capitalize. We didn't do what we were supposed to do to close this game out. And some of the stuff that we've been talking about over the season that the Pelicans would have to fix going into the postseason. You can't take a lot of these regular season issues. Everything has to be tightened up. Everything. The errors have to be tightened up. Turning the ball over has to be tightened up. You have to elevate your play for the playoffs. The Pelicans tonight didn't do enough. They didn't come through with a full effort to take this game away from
with enough force, Q?
Say again, DC.
They didn't play with enough force.
Not enough force, and they damn sure didn't play with an edge. So I mean, not enough of an edge to carry through the game anyway. But second game is on Wednesday. I think it's what it's set up to 9:30. Yeah, 9:30 time again. I wonder why these goddamn games so late. Okay, Oklahoma City is in Central Time Zone. Why are these games so damn late? I guess it's because they're putting us on the back of everybody else.
Scheduling and
yeah, they're putting us on the back end of everybody else. That's what it is. They're trying to fit all.
They're trying to say go to sleep on this game. The Pelicans ain't going.
Well, it's funny because this was actually the more of the most competitive games compared to all the games. I mean, all the rest of the games were blowouts.
Right.
I mean, it's like, a lot of people usually want to see some competition, want to see some back and forth action. So, the TNT crew, they feel like it was they feel like it was a really good game. But I mean, if it's a blowout, it's like, they just sitting there talking like, yeah, when's this game gonna be over? So but this game was competitive though. I mean, how many lead changes and ties? I think they said something ridiculous like a combine of 40 ties and lead changes. Like, there was, it was going back and forth.
The funny thing about it is, like, we get here.
Keep that on the low, bro.
DC, yeah. Shout out to DC's had made some money with his movie. But
I ain't give you a goddamn dime. I just told Dan to keep it on the low. You go.
I told him when you did it. When you did the movie, I asked you for a loan. You told me no. So there you go.
Cause you ain't had to ask. I was gonna give you some pay before you asked. Once you asked, I'm like, this nigga crazy.
All right, DC Marley. All right, so anyway, listen, fam, man, what I could tell you about this, man. Game number 2, OKC is a young team. Even though they play really well, they're still an inexperienced team, and a Pelican team that plays and keep their together can win this series. They can. If anything, showed tonight. Now we know they were kind of rusty, but when their game's on, Shay's on another level. He's the one that makes them go. And then, you got Humpback Williams. He plays really well. They play really good defense. Chet does what he does. But if we can kind of just restrict the turnovers, hit our shots and play similar defense to what we do tonight, we can come up with a win. We need to get the second win on Wednesday to kind of turn this series around, kind of even this series up coming home. So it's a must win here. We can't allow these people to get another dub here and then come back to the Smoothie King Center down 0-2. We got to do something about it. We got to win the next one. So it's going to be interesting, man, to see how things work going forward, man. But oh man, I don't like the stats that we talked about tonight in terms of the 0-24 stat when the Pelicans enter the fourth quarter during the season. They haven't won. They're 0-24. I don't like the 0-8 stat that I talked about that Rod Walker posted on Twitter. You know, when the Pelicans are trailing by 3 or something like that, they're 0-8 or something like that. I called that stat earlier today. I don't like all those terrible clutch stats, which show the Pelicans are not very good in close games. So I don't perceive them running or blasting through OKC. So a lot of if it comes down to close games, they're gonna have to solve it.
It definitely will, Q. But I mean, you're gonna have a game where the Pels are able to pull away at a certain point. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde syndrome with the Pels. So they're gonna have games where they completely out of their mind, and they're gonna have other games where they completely let you down. One thing I can say for sure, if I was a betting man, I'll put my money on the Pels this next game for one reason only. For one reason only, man.
For the One Love movie.
No, but I mean, I guess you could tie the theme in there because it's one reason, one love. I get it. Yeah, ha ha ha.
One
But
Nola, one love, one Nola.
I don't know about that shit. I ain't never called it Nola. But the reason that I would put my money on it, I ain't never seen BI have two just horrible games back to back. I don't think there's any way that he comes out and gives us 12 points.
What about the two Laker games?
What do you mean?
The regular season, didn't he play in the regular season finale and then the playoff game, the play-in game?
Playing game.
You could say he came off injury.
It was one of them. Did he play in? And then the other one? Yeah.
But
that's kind of different.
Everybody
But
was saying,
I guess you could say that, but that's a little bit of an anomaly, man. But after he played solid, I still didn't quite see him at the level you would expect in the Sacramento game. But he had a pretty solid game. He did a lot of smart things and definitely contributed to us winning. I think we're gonna see a more aggressive BI. They're gonna look at how they guarded him and get him some easier attempts. He was getting blitzed, different things like that, which I think you should be prepared for all these things, but he definitely looked a little bit uncomfortable. But the way I saw Trey playing, I think that's sustainable as well. We didn't have the big points push from the bench. At some point, I think the Pels are going to have a little bit more of an explosion from 3-point line. Herb has been shooting extremely well, man, and he was missing a lot of shots that we know he could make. You know what I'm saying? He did hit a huge shot down the stretch, and I think he just has the DNA, man, to be able to hit him if you just continuously keep leaving him open. And CJ is definitely a wild card. I don't know what the hell to expect from CJ next game.
CJ, he's been struggling, rising.
Yeah, he's extremely inconsistent.
Well, I mean, he scored 20 points in this game. So the previous games, man, he was on.
Yeah, but it was 9 for 22. He scored less points than shots he took. Like, that ain't nothing to sit up here and praise.
But you can't put that on CJ when BI sitting up there with 12 points, DC.
That too. But as well, I think you're going to see a lot more aggressive BI.
Come on, DC. One love, brother. Cut that out.
Decision making really sticks out like a sore thumb. Stuff that CJ be doing. It's like, dude, we didn't need that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I have him at a different plateau because, like I said, he's a veteran and he's the only person on this team that has the most playoff experience. So
yeah,
I look at those
as a bona fide sidekick, man. I mean, CJ's always been number 2 in the playoffs. He ain't never had to carry
Isn't
no
he?
heavy weight or even
I
think
mean,
about
but
taking a
He's-
last shot unless he wide open. Dame had all that on lock.
but
You
you
see,
didn't
isn't he a
learn
sidekick right
anything.
now? Isn't he a sidekick right now, y'all?
Somebody go
I
tell
mean,
him that.
yeah, he ain't playing out of his
Is he
position.
really?
Come on, DC, one love, brother. Cut it
We
out.
just watched him take the game-winning shot. Is he really sidekick?
Well, the thing
don't you?
is, I mean, I don't feel like he should have been the one to take the last shot. I feel like they
Well, it
should
looked
have.
like they was trying to draw a play for Trey, to be honest, Lex. If you go back and look at it,
Well, the thing is,
and
it
CJ
was
kind of messed
open,
up.
but the thing is, again, CJ he panicked because dark skinned Jalen came over to double him,
Come
and
back,
all
Jay.
he had to do was do a wraparound bounce pass, and that shot would have been in 1-2 step and release for Trigger. But the thing is, he panicked because he double pumped. He he got the dude up in the air. I think it was Joe or Wiggins, one of them, because they kind of look similar. But yeah, he pumped fake. Dude went over him, and then he went under after he went over him, and Jalen was right there on his right. Trig was right there. There was still time on the clock to get it to Trigger to get a nice release off to hit the shot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. When you're in the moment, things look a little different. But if you look at anybody else around the league, I feel like you got other guys around the league that can do that stuff. So maybe I just think I shouldn't think too highly of CJ in those situations.
Well, I mean, I give CJ just a little bit of slack for one reason, man. CJ's not a point guard, and we constantly keep putting him in his position to be a point guard.
No,
I think
Willie
if
put him
he,
in that position.
that's what I'm saying. We as the Pelicans, Willie, it's the team. They put him in that position. I think if you utilize CJ the way he's intended to be utilized, we wouldn't have so many talking points about him. He's a scorer, he's a shooter, man. Like when he get the ball, he should be looking for a shot, but he has to switch between when to be aggressive and when to be. He just don't do good with that, in my opinion. Trying
He
to
get trapped in that
decide when to
dance.
be aggressive and when to be a facilitator. It's just not naturally his thing, at least at this level or with this team, the way we running it. So
It's off ball CJ, DC. That's pretty
yeah,
much.
he need to be off ball. He's excellent, man. When CJ is
The
off
thing
ball and you
is
give him the ball
that's
and he
a
take
two
one
guard.
dribble and shoot, man, he's awesome, man. You give him the ball, you let him come down, they leave him wide open, he hit it in your face.
Well, the traditional two guard.
Right. But all I know is we're gonna see a different BI than we saw this game.
Well,
And I think if the
hopefully.
Pels can play at a similar level of I guess intensity defensively, but have a little bit more of an edge, right?
Well,
We definitely can get the dub with this next one on Wednesday, man. And they got a good little amount of time to get some rest and to watch some film. And I'm hoping we can drag this out, man. At least get it to a game 7. You never know. Zion might be able to suit up.
Oh shoot, they've already talked about that. They saying they have him at least 4 games.
Well, I mean that's cool.
Because this Wednesday it'll be a week, and then you got next week. But yeah, if they can drag this series out, and Zion can get some action, man, that would be really dope. Because
I ain't
Lord
gonna
knows,
lie, I felt like I seen this story before in Phoenix.
yeah, I know. I know how. I mean, but they said that he was aggressive on his rehab.
You know what?
I mean, he was on the court and shoot around and everything. That's definitely a different thing, man. Seeing him out there, you seen him in the team practices, you seen him in the locker room. It's like okay.
Yeah, he's
Maybe
involved.
it's different this time. Maybe.
And the thing is, DC, this is not the same situation. Like those other seasons, he didn't play for months. You see what I'm saying? This isn't that type situation. He just played 2 games ago? Right?
Yeah.
He just played 2 games ago. So it's like I don't think this strain, I don't think it's like, the one that he had against the Sixers. I don't think it's to that magnitude. I think I mean, I don't think there's anything torn or anything like that because again, I'm listening to how they're talking and I mean, it sounds optimistic that he can come back in this series and not wait. Now,
What are you
obviously,
hearing? What sources are you hearing this from, and what exactly are you hearing?
no, the TNT crew, whoever they have on the floor,
Okay.
they always, how they go in the locker room and, and talk to the players or talk to,
Now I'm gonna let you know something, Lex. Remember, you know how you tell me the matchup indicators for betting purposes only.
oh well, man, come on, man, we'll
Wait, I was
say
watching the game, Lex, and they flashed down at the bottom. Pelicans playoff suites for sale right now.
no, you are so you are crazy.
I'm
Hey,
just saying.
one thing I do want to say about OKC real quick, as far as their shooting from behind the arc, they had a poor shooting night. So that's probably going to change in the next game. I kind of feel like they got too many open looks. They missed them, but they did get a lot of open looks. But we're definitely gonna have to tighten it up as far as guarding that three because it's not just Shea that you got to worry about shooting from behind the arc. If you saw Chet on tonight, Chet was trying to shoot a whole lot from behind the arc. And he doesn't usually take that many, especially at the beginning of the game. He actually took quite a few.
Yeah, he ain't want no part of Val.
Exactly. He don't want that contact. That's why we need to emphasize dumping it down to give them love taps. Let them beat them up during this series, man. Like, yeah, all right, that's cool. Y'all gonna have to come help your boy out. Y'all better come help your boy out. Come help your boy out, man. Hey, you better come up off of BI. You better come up off of CJ. Come up off of Trig. Y'all better come and help him. Cause I'm gonna pound it. I'm gonna keep pounding it. And look what he did when JV was going up against AD. Man, I'm telling you, like AD, he don't want that contact. He's never wanted that contact. That's why when he got to the Lakers, he told them, hey, man, I want to play the 4. I don't want to be the 5. Yeah, that's what you got to do. This is the playoffs. It's physical, right? If you look at a lot of these playoffs, the number one thing that they're doing is the bigs are out-bigging the bigs. They're dumping that ball down low and they pounding it on the inside. They beating the inside up. And it's like whoever's winning that battle, it can win the outside battle because the defense has to collapse. They got it. They got to come and double or triple team, and then you have open shots to dish it out to your shooters. But just looking at these other games, that's the number one thing that I noticed, and I was wondering if the Pels would do it, and they did it for a little bit. They went away from it, obviously, and went to Nance. So, I mean, you saw what happened there. But we Willie got to make a decision, man. Hey, at least try once. Just sticking with JV, man. Stick with him and trust him a little bit. I think that's the biggest thing we got to do is trust JV a little bit.
All right, fam. Listen, we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. Listen, I want to give you guys a shout out for staying up late with us. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media. If you guys are on Twitter, please feel free to give us a retweet as well, man. Pelican Postgame Report Final, PPR Final. We up in this thing, man. Listen, Pels come back Wednesday. We have to get the matchup. I know we won't be looking to see when Zion's getting back. But listen, fam, I'm telling you, the OKC team is very good. They're but they're young and they're inexperienced. The Pelicans, man, listen, tonight we just do a little bit more, we would have beat this team. Now, of course, we know they're rusty. They missed a lot of shots. We missed a lot of shots, but we could play with this team. Matter of fact, we could beat this team, fam. We can make this a series. We really can. We have to start restricting a lot of the things that we've been doing that's been hurting us, and that requires Willie Green to learn fast, man, because this other coach that they have on the other side, that guy he done built them up with a really serious culture, and them guys believe in themselves, man, and we have to take it from them. But this is a young, inexperienced team. The Pelicans, man, they play how they're supposed to play. We can get this series out these people, man. They're not a juggernaut, man. We can beat these people. But anyway, listen, man, we're going to come back on the Wednesday, show and recap. Pelicans need 1 of 2 from home, from these people home before we go. But we come on, we got to split here. We got at least split in the Smoothie King Center to make it a series. And who knows what would have happened after that. But these games are spread out well enough where we might be able to get a Zion back in a little while. But we'll see, man. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to peace you out on that. Listen, I appreciate all y'all for being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to holler at you on the next one, man. Much love, and go Pels.
Show us the edge, the chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Try to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the outlaw. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, do you want it all? This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show them the proof, show them that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.